Students are literally telling their teachers, I can't read, it's too long. And we're not talking about War and Peace here, we're talking about basic texts that previous generations devoured without thinking twice. Today we're diving into how AI is fundamentally rewiring our relationship with knowledge itself. Specifically, how the disappearance of seeking and searching is costing us something far more valuable than efficiency: wisdom. By the end of this episode, you'll understand why instant answers might be making us collectively dumber and what we can do about it. Let me bring in someone who's been tracking these cognitive shifts closely. So help me understand, what exactly is happening to our brains when we stop searching and start just receiving?
What we're witnessing is the erosion of what researchers call cognitive patience, and the Brookings Institution's recent study paints a pretty alarming picture. They analyzed over 400 academic studies and found that students are struggling with fundamental cognitive skills that are crucial for their development.
Cognitive patience. That's a term I haven't heard before. Break that down for me.
It's defined as the ability to concentrate on intricate ideas and sustain attention through challenging material. Think about it. When was the last time you sat with a difficult concept and really wrestled with it, rather than just asking ChatGPT for a quick explanation?
Ouch. That hits close to home. And you're saying this isn't just about attention spans?
Right, it's much deeper. The study found that reliance on AI for quick answers and simplified content is fundamentally changing how we process information. Students are increasingly opting for instant gratification over in-depth engagement.
And this is showing up in real classrooms with real students?
Absolutely. Teachers are reporting this shift in attitudes toward reading. Many teenagers have moved from expressing dislike for long texts to outright stating they simply cannot read them. The phrase, "I can't read, it's too long," has become disturbingly common.
That's actually terrifying when you think about it. We're talking about a generation that's losing the ability to engage with complex ideas.
And here's what makes it even more concerning. This isn't just about reading. The research shows that AI-generated content produces homogeneous ideas, lacking the unique perspectives that human writers contribute. Studies found that student essays offer 2 to 8 times more unique ideas compared to those generated by tools like ChatGPT.
Wait, so we're not just losing the ability to consume complex information, we're also losing the ability to create it?
Exactly. And this connects to something fascinating from the University of Toronto research. They argue that AI's greatest strength, removing friction from work and relationships, is also its greatest liability.
How so? Isn't removing friction supposed to be good?
Well, here's the key distinction. Previous technologies like washing machines removed excess friction, tedious obstacles that offered little benefit. But AI strips away what they call beneficial friction, the effort, struggle, and difficulty that actually drives growth and learning.
So you're saying some struggle is actually good for us?
Absolutely. As lead researcher Emily Zohar puts it, effort isn't just a burden, it's also what helps us learn, develop skills, and find meaning in what we do. When AI does the difficult thinking for us, we lose opportunities to build competence and confidence.
That's such a counterintuitive idea in our efficiency-obsessed culture. But I'm curious about the research backing this up.
The psychological research is pretty clear. Effortful engagement strengthens learning and memory. When people struggle with tasks like writing, problem-solving, or creative thinking, they develop deeper understanding and greater skill. AI systems can generate polished outputs instantly, but they bypass the cognitive processes that support actual learning.
And there's actual data showing this decline in cognitive abilities?
Oh yes. Get this, the average human attention span has plummeted from 12 seconds in 2000 to just 8.25 seconds in 2024. That's actually shorter than the 9-second attention span attributed to goldfish.
We're literally less focused than goldfish now? That can't be right.
I know it sounds absurd, but the research shows millennials maintain focus for no longer than 12 seconds, while Generation Z taps out at just 8 seconds. When consuming social media advertisements, Gen Z loses focus after approximately 1.3 seconds.
1.3 seconds? That's not even enough time to process what you're looking at.
Exactly. And this connects to something really important about how we seek information. There's fascinating research from Gujarat University on how AI is reshaping information-seeking behavior. They found that AI technologies are fundamentally altering the methods by which we access, analyze, and utilize data.
So we're not just consuming information differently, we're seeking it differently too?
Right. Information-seeking behavior traditionally involved deliberate and organized actions, identifying a need, actively pursuing relevant data, critically evaluating sources, and applying that information to make informed decisions. But AI is short-circuiting that entire process.
And I'm guessing that's not necessarily a good thing?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. Duke University research found that students who use large language models for writing and research tasks experienced reduced cognitive load, but demonstrated poorer reasoning and argumentation skills compared to those using traditional search methods.
So the easier path is actually making us worse at thinking?
That's exactly what the data suggests. Another study found that students using LLMs focused on a narrower set of ideas, resulting in more biased and superficial analyses. We're trading depth for convenience.
This reminds me of something I read about a Microsoft study. Wasn't there research showing a direct correlation between AI confidence and reduced critical thinking?
Yes, that's a crucial finding. The Microsoft study focused on knowledge workers and found an inverse correlation. The higher the level of confidence in AI that users had, the lower their critical thinking. Meanwhile, the higher a user's self-confidence, the greater their use of critical thinking.
So basically, the more we trust AI, the less we think for ourselves?
That's the concerning pattern emerging from the research. And it raises fundamental questions about what we're losing in this trade-off.
Speaking of what we're losing, I keep hearing about this concept of wisdom versus intelligence. Are those different things?
Absolutely. And this is where the University of Waterloo research becomes really important. Dr. Sam Johnson, who led the study, puts it perfectly. Wisdom isn't just about knowledge or intelligence. It's about the mental skills needed to handle life's challenges, such as making difficult decisions or navigating unpredictable social situations.
And AI systems don't have that?
Not at all. Current AI systems excel at well-defined tasks, but they struggle when problems are messy or unclear because they lack the full range of strategies that humans use to navigate uncertainty. They lack what researchers call metacognition, the ability to think about their own thinking.
Metacognition, that's thinking about thinking?
Right. It involves recognizing the limits of your knowledge, adjusting to different contexts, weighing multiple viewpoints, and staying flexible about how situations might unfold. Dr. Igor Grossman from the same study said it perfectly. If the smartest person in the world were a toddler, we still wouldn't hand them the nuclear codes.
That's a powerful analogy. So we're essentially creating incredibly smart toddlers?
In many ways, yes. And the implications go beyond just AI systems themselves. There's research showing that AI systems cannot wonder or be curious, essential qualities for scientific exploration and discovery. Unlike humans, AI systems can only process pre-programmed information.
And curiosity is important because...
Curiosity is central to human learning and drives the exploration and questioning that leads to innovation and cultural insights. Recent research from the University of Michigan found that large language models actually flatten cross-cultural diversity and curiosity, aligning more closely with Western expressions of curiosity.
So we're not just losing individual curiosity, we're losing cultural diversity in how we approach questions?
Exactly. And this connects to the broader decline in deep reading that researchers are documenting. The digital age has seen a marked decline in sustained, focused engagement with complex texts, especially among younger generations who are more accustomed to scanning social media posts and short-form content.
And this isn't just about preference, right? This is actually changing our brains?
That's right. Neuroscientific studies suggest that the brain adapts to the modes of reading it most frequently practices. Frequent skimming and scanning can physically alter neural pathways, making deep contemplative reading more difficult over time.
So we're literally rewiring ourselves for superficial engagement?
The research suggests that's exactly what's happening. And the implications are profound. Reading comprehension, particularly the ability to infer, analyze, and critique, is being affected. These skills are foundational not just for academic success, but for civic participation in a democratic society.
That's a sobering thought. Without these skills, people become more vulnerable to misinformation?
Absolutely, and less capable of forming nuanced opinions. The research shows that literature and philosophy, disciplines traditionally explored through deep reading, are suffering declining engagement. Students report finding it harder to engage with novels, historical documents, or critical essays.
So where does this leave us? Are we just doomed to become a society of surface-level thinkers?
Not necessarily. The Burning Glass Institute research suggests that as AI automates routine tasks, employers are actually placing greater value on judgment, problem-solving, and deeper conceptual understanding. The skills most impacted by AI now demand deeper understanding, not less.
Interesting. So the solution isn't to avoid AI, but to use it differently?
Exactly. Matt Sigelman from the Burning Glass Institute puts it well. Skills like writing, mathematical reasoning, and research are becoming harder, not easier, because students must learn to direct, evaluate, and challenge AI output rather than simply execute procedures.
So we need to become AI directors rather than AI consumers?
That's a great way to put it. The research consistently shows that critical thinking, characterized by evaluation of information, questioning of assumptions, and formation of independent judgments, remains a uniquely human skill that AI cannot fully replicate.
And the key is making sure we don't outsource that judgment to AI systems?
Right. Students need to be aware of AI's limitations, biases, and errors. AI should function as a tool to enhance human reasoning, not replace it. The goal is collaboration, not substitution.
This brings up something interesting about how colleges are handling this transition. What are institutions actually doing about this?
Most schools have issued guidance rather than sweeping mandates. Liberal arts colleges like University of Richmond, Bard College, and Trinity College emphasize ethical and responsible AI use, typically allowing students to use AI when they cite it and their instructor permits it.
But the deeper question is, what counts as learning in an AI world, right?
Exactly. Unless colleges clearly shape AI's role in teaching and learning, fast-moving technologies may begin to redefine education by default. The risk isn't more AI, but a gradual shift where students spend less time asking hard questions, making their own judgments, and building real expertise.
So when you step back from all this research, what's the bigger picture here? What are we really talking about?
We're talking about a fundamental shift in human consciousness and agency. The philosophical implications are profound. AI is forcing us to rethink ideas about consciousness, free will, and the nature of intelligence itself. As one researcher put it, we're witnessing a transformation in the very architecture of human thought.
And the solution isn't to reject AI entirely, but to be more intentional about how we integrate it into our cognitive lives?
Precisely. The research points toward maintaining what they call cognitive sustainability, ensuring that automation enhances rather than replaces human reasoning, creativity, and ethical responsibility. We need to monitor this as carefully as we monitor environmental sustainability.
That's a powerful framework. So here's what this really comes down to. We're at a crossroads where we can either let AI reshape us by default, or we can consciously choose how to integrate these tools while preserving the cognitive skills that make us human.
Exactly. The research shows that when we engage thoughtfully with AI, using it as a tool rather than a replacement for thinking, we can actually enhance our capabilities. But it requires intentionality and awareness of what we're potentially losing.
And that brings us back to wisdom versus intelligence. We need systems and people who know when to pause, reflect, and defer to human judgment.
Right. As the University of Waterloo researchers argue, we need AI that embodies intellectual humility, perspective-seeking, and context adaptation. Not just systems that compute, but systems that reason wisely.
So the next time you're tempted to ask ChatGPT for a quick answer instead of wrestling with a complex problem yourself, remember, you're not just choosing efficiency over effort. You're choosing between developing wisdom and outsourcing your thinking. The students saying, "I can't read, it's too long," aren't just being lazy. They're showing us what happens when we lose the ability to sit with difficulty and grow from it. Thanks for joining us on Copilot Podcasts. The future of human intelligence isn't about competing with AI. It's about staying human while working alongside it.